Hi guys, it's Kamalia. Today I'll be doing my September wrap-up. I'd like to apologize for not doing videos lately because I just started my degree and it's been pretty busy. So yeah, hopefully I can do more videos soon. So yeah, it was a pretty good reading month. I read a total of 5 books and 2 of them were rereads and 3 of them were first reads. So the first book I read is Credibly by Sarah J. Maas. And this is actually a reread. If you watched my August wrap-up, you'd remember that I read Throne of Glass again, and it was because I was excited to read Queen of Shadows, which is the 4th book that was gonna come out, and I was just so excited to get into the world, and I was like really into the world after rereading the first book that I reread the second book, and it was a really fun experience again. However, I noticed that the first time I read it, I rated it 4.9999 because there was just so much feels. But the second time there were less feels because I knew what was gonna happen. So I lowered down my rating to 4.7. But it's still like an awesome book anyway. Probably still one of the best I read this year. Yeah. And the second book I read is, of course, Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas, the 4th book in the series. Yes, I did skip the 3rd book because I already had this book and I just like couldn't read the 3rd book without thinking about this one, so I just like started this one. And this one is honestly a really powerful addition to the series. I really enjoyed it. There were a lot of issues that I had with it, but I kind of forgave the author for the issues that I had with it, and it was still a really enjoyable read. I rated it 4.5 out of 5. It was just so fast-paced, and there was just so many things happening, and if you compare it to the first book in the series, it's just so completely different. So much has happened. It's like at a different depth compared to the first book. So I really highly recommend this series to anyone who loves a high fantasy read, who loves adventure, that kind of stuff, and it has a badass female protagonist, and that's always like an awesome thing. Yeah. So I was kind of in a reading slump for a couple of days after finishing Queen of Shadows, but then I did get started on Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and this one is by Ransom Riggs. I was excited to read it because there's gonna be a movie adaptation coming out next year starring Asa Butterfield. He's amazing. I love his acting. Anyway, this book is about a boy who has been growing up with stories by his grandfather telling him about these peculiar children on an island, and he has even showed him photos from when he grew up and everything, and actually these photos are actually in the book itself and they're freaking creepy. Let me just show you like some.
Where is it? Yeah, oh crap. Okay.
So this is like one of the photos. It is so creepy and it's so spooky. I was actually hesitating to read this. Like even the cover is creepy, okay? And but I did like try it out, and it's actually not as creepy as I thought, especially when you know the background for the photos itself, and it's actually quite nice. However, I was just a little bit disappointed because it's actually not that fast-paced. At some parts I did get a little bored, but at the same time the ideas that were in this book were really fresh, and it was something new that I've never read before, and I really enjoyed that. And the writing itself was just brilliant. Ransom Riggs is a great writer, that's for sure, and I really can't wait to watch the movie. There's also the 2nd book and the 3rd book, but I'm not sure when I'm gonna read those yet because there's so many books that I have to read. Yeah. So the 4th book that I read, and I started this like right after I finished Miss Peregrine's, is Isla and the Happily Ever After. So yeah, this is like the opposite to Miss Peregrine's. Like the vibe it gives is just like the opposite. This is like such a happy, bubbly read. This is the 3rd book. Is it a companion book? Or like, I'm not sure what they call it, but in the Anna and the French Kiss like series, trilogy, I don't know what it is, but it's the 3rd one, and I know I enjoyed Anna and Lola a lot, especially Lola, and just I was excited to read this one, and also Suraya was like raving about it on Twitter, so yeah, I had to read it, and I'm so glad I did. It was so good. I read it in a day, and that rarely happens, and oh my god, I'm just in love with Josh. He's so amazing. I rated this 4.6 out of 5. It is one of the nicest contemporary novels I've read, but I did think I do think I enjoyed Lola a little bit more than this one, but because in this one all the characters come together at the end, it was just it was quite perfect. So yeah. And the final book I read is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, which is actually a reread because of the Malaysian Potterheads readathon. And what I noticed from rereading it is there were so many details that I didn't catch before, especially towards the world building of the Wizarding World. And I was actually pissed off at the movie because I noticed that some of the dialogue that was in the book was actually by Ron, and in the movie it was by some other character like Hermione or Hagrid or someone like that. And it kind of upset me a little because in the book it showed that Ron was actually quite intelligent. He knew so much about the Wizarding World, and in the movie they portrayed him as somebody who was kind of like sort of like the dumb one, or somebody who was the joker of the group or someone like that. And I guess I didn't really appreciate that as much, and rereading it made me notice that. And I love Ron. He is a really great character, and I think right now I like Ron more than I like Hermione, and I really liked Hermione when I was a kid. So yeah. So yeah, those are the books that I read in September. If you've read any of those books, do comment below and tell me what you thought of them, if you agreed with my short opinions or not. I am currently reading I'll Give You the Sun, and the writing is just spectacular, and I'm really looking forward to read more books soon. I just hope that college doesn't get in the way of me being able to read books, because that would really suck. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!